When you instruct a man to go left, he typically follows the directive straightforwardly. But when you tell a woman to go left, it often results in a cascade of hesitation, questions, and second-guessing. She might even pull over, ask you to vacate the car you've just purchased, and then, after about 10 minutes, give you a call seeking directions. After a full day, she'll concede that perhaps she should have gone left from the start. Today's dating scene sees many women with an inflated perception of their own value, often detached from their true standing in the world of relationships. Many women tend to date and marry up the socio-economic ladder. If it's an alpha male, they may engage in short-term liaisons, but the overarching principle of hypergamy drives them to seek long-term partners who elevate their status. As a man navigating the dating landscape, it's essential to grasp that modern women often possess an exaggerated sense of entitlement, believing they're worth more than their genuine market value. There are a couple of reasons behind this phenomenon. First, women, over the years, have frequently rejected men's advances, leading many men to step back from women's lives and affairs. The unintended consequence, from women's perspective, is that the dating pool has shrunk. There's a growing trend of men choosing not to approach women, ignoring them in various settings, and being wary of committing to long-term relationships like marriage due to perceived risks outweighing benefits. For women, it's becoming increasingly challenging to accept the possibility that their desirability might diminish as time goes on. This realization often prompts them to recalibrate their expectations. Irrespective of how much money women earn, it's crucial for them to maintain a realistic understanding of their worth in the grand scheme of things. Unfortunately, many women do not consistently share their own wealth with men, unlike men who often share their resources generously in relationships. They often anticipate encountering a partner who is more prosperous, ticking all the right boxes, and willing to share their wealth throughout their lives. The increasing trend of men distancing themselves from women can be attributed to various factors. Some men have experienced significant setbacks in their lives due to relationships with women. In many cases, these experiences have led them to reconsider their priorities. They are redirecting their energy towards personal and professional growth, philanthropic endeavors, and self-improvement. Interestingly, expressing romantic interest in a woman can sometimes lead to a decline in a man's perceived attractiveness. It's as if the mere act of showing interest triggers a paradoxical response. The list of expectations women may have for men can seem endless and often unrealistic. It includes traits like humor, kindness, love, acceptance of children, assertiveness, competence, and various practical skills. Meeting all these criteria can be a daunting task. In recent times, there's been a noticeable shift in how women react to men's actions. Some women have advocated for men to leave them alone and stop approaching them without a genuine connection. However, they seem to have misunderstood what it would look like once it finally happened. They didn't know that men finally leaving them alone didn't only mean that no one would be around to harass them. It also meant that no one would be around to put them on a pedestal. A significant issue we face today is the influence of Instagram and other social networks. They provide a platform where women often receive an excessive amount of attention, much of which can be superficial and insincere. When a woman's posts gather thousands of likes and comments, it can distort her perception of reality. This can lead her to believe that she is more significant and desired than she actually is. Consequently, it can affect her relationships, causing her to undervalue the people in her life. It's essential to recognize that women aren't entirely responsible for this phenomenon. The root of the problem lies with men who are addicted to viewing and engaging with these images. Their constant likes and comments contribute to the unrealistic attention women receive on these platforms. This dynamic perpetuates a cycle of skewed perceptions and can harm genuine human connections. The reality is that today's attractive modern women often seem unattainable. In countless movies, whether recent or old, the lead character tends to be either an exceptionally attractive woman or an impossibly virtuous man, dedicated to upholding justice in society. On the flip side, the villains and antagonists are typically portrayed as older, attractive individuals who bear the scars of their wickedness, making them look unsightly. Given this portrayal, it's no wonder that neither men nor women are keen on employing highly attractive women. The fear often lingers that if a woman were to make a false accusation against a man, society would instinctively assume she's telling the truth. When a man tries to engage with a stunning woman, it's on full display for everyone because that's just how it's always been. As men increasingly embrace their independence, the feminist movement continues to evolve, yet it faces a growing tide of men distancing themselves from it. One would imagine that feminists, in a reasonable approach, would aim to cater to men's desires rather than trying to strip away more of their autonomy. More men opting out of the traditional framework simply exacerbates this gender imbalance. Now, let's delve into why modern women harbor objections when men choose to lead their lives on their terms. Why does it become a contentious issue when men decide they can do without women, or the drama that often accompanies relationships? Women, as a whole, and feminists, in particular, often dictate what they want from men. But when men provide precisely that, it tends to stir up complaints and friction. The notion of men making their own choices should theoretically align with the principles of gender equality championed by feminists. It's akin to a group of men treating women with the same degree of disregard that men often experience from women. However, it seems they opt for favorable outcomes over significantly increased accountability. The only means to secure a top-notch result is to embrace the mindset and work ethic of a man who puts in the effort and provides for them throughout their lives. Historically, men may have faced less anguish and hardship when perishing in wars, at least in some periods. However, in today's context, a man who goes through divorce and loses his home, children, spouse, and sense of purpose often finds himself in a more dire situation, and a man who meets his fate on the battlefield. Women seemingly want us to accept the challenge and engage in what seems like a staged competition. Love becomes our battleground. Projecting vulnerability grants women influence, as it prompts men to step up, get involved, and care for them. Nonetheless, as women increasingly project dominance, men are veering towards their own paths, seeking alternative motivations for existence apart from safeguarding women. If women no longer require our protection, why should we remain available? Women desire men by their side, looking after them, and listening to their concerns, all while asserting that they are not reliant on them. With promises of liberation from men, feminism has disrupted the lives of many Western women. In reality, women may need men more than they are willing to admit, particularly as they grapple with dissatisfaction at work and risk becoming isolated and discontented. However, this acknowledgement remains taboo for now. In the coming decades, as our culture potentially shifts towards conservatism, women might come to recognize this need. Then, rather than acknowledging their dependence on men, women might assert it's trendy to do so. When women call out for male assistance, many men will genuinely respond, reviving what is deemed a traditional connection. As they appeal to men for support, a form of neo-traditionalism could make a resurgence. In this scenario, women will suddenly start expressing concern for men, leading men back to the negotiation table. In summary, it's essential for men to recognize that women may never fully comprehend their own desires or appreciate the sacrifices men make for them. There may forever be a gap in understanding because men tend to operate in a straightforward manner, while women navigate a more complex, multidimensional world. To illustrate, when you instruct a man to turn left, he will do so. Yet, if you instruct a woman to turn left, she might slam on the brakes, insist you exit the vehicle you just purchased, call you for directions after 10 minutes, and ultimately admit she should have turned left after a full day of contemplation. This contrast in communication styles underscores the fundamental differences between men and women. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.